Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss a short game tip that every golfer needs to implement within their practice. If you're struggling with the club digging into the ground a little bit too abruptly, where the leading edge digs into the ground, you're going to minimise the bounce angle that you've got on your golf club. And also what's going to happen is you're going to hit the golf ball a lot higher in the face, and you experience a lot of low lunging shots. This type of technique is exacerbated more a little bit in the winter because the ground's a little bit softer. So the biggest thing that we're going to talk about is when you set up to a shot in the winter compared to summer, is a lot of golfers won't adapt their technique at all. And what I mean by that is they won't evolve their technique from the summer where the ground's a little bit firmer, where we want to create a little bit more of a kind of control shot, compared to where the winter the club digs into the ground quite a lot. We compromise the strike and we also don't generate a lot of consistency. So one of the biggest things we see regularly on the lesson tee is a lot of golfers will set up to the golf ball with the ball position a little bit too far back. In the winter, playing off soft ground, it's almost like playing out of a bunker that's got quite a lot of sand, where there's quite a lot of sand between the top of the bunker compared to the base of the bunker. So set the golf ball a little bit too far back, meaning that the golf ball's pretty much running adjacent to your right foot. You think the club head and the hands are pretty much in line at the moment, so the club head and the grip. What tends to happen is the more we move the ball position further back, the more the handle's going to get a little bit ahead. Find from there, the more I push the grip end forward, the club head sits back the way, the more the leading edge digs in. Golf ball position is too far back, hands are too much ahead, so the grip end of the club almost wants to push towards my left thigh. And what happens from there is we're going to hit shots where the leading edge digs into the ground. If we're off thick grass, soft sand and muddy lies, if we reduce the bounce angle, so if we use more of the bottom edge of the club, the leading edge, the club's going to start to slow down. So the sand and this thick grass slows the club head down anyway. So the more we move the ball position further back, we're going to compromise the speed the club head's working through the golf ball. We're going to reduce club head speed. The brain's going to realise if I've got too much shaft lean, so if I've got too much lean in the handle forward compared to the club head, I'm going to have to get out of that position at some point, and I'm going to have to kind of hang back. I'm going to have to throw the club head at the golf ball, just because I've got the ball position a little bit too far back. So you've got two types of shots from that position. Ball position is too far back, hands are too far ahead, and this right palm, if you were thinking of this right palm, the right palm, as we come through the shot, is too much down towards the ground. And what that does is it creates compression, which is great for an iron shot. But what's going to happen when we do that with a pitch shot, we're going to struggle to get the ball up. We're going to hit a lot of low launching shots, and if we've got a shot we require to hit higher, we're going to struggle to get the ball up. So this is kind of short, ball position is too far back, right hand's pointing down towards the ground too much, chest pointing down towards the ground, and then kind of get that shot other end of the spectrum where the ball position is too far back, hands are too far ahead. I've had a lot of experience of hitting these shots with the leading edge digs into the ground, face gets shut to try and hit the ball up, just to try and get rid of that shaft. It's almost kind of in this position where I throw the club head at the golf ball, my lead wrist works a little bit more of a cut position through impact, and everything stands up through the golf ball, just to try and prevent the club striking the ground too abruptly. So we're trying to shallow out by throwing the weight back the way. So we're trying to shallow out by moving our weight too far behind the golf, get quite a lot of shaft lean, right palm to the ground, almost like this. So where the club strikes the ground has a big impact on how much spin we create on the golf ball, and also our launch angle. The first thing we need to try and diagnose is it's a simple thing. A lot of people kind of complicate this move, but what we're going to do from there is we're just going to take the shaft lean out of the equation. So instead of the handle being too far forward, the club head back, I want you to visualise you're trying to play a bunker shot. We're going to move the ball a little bit further forward, so the ball's pretty much a little bit more in the middle of the stance instead of too far back. Because what you'll find from there is the further back the ball position goes, we're going to add shaft lean, and we're going to reduce the bounce, and the leading edge is going to dig into the ground. Ball position is pretty much in line with the middle of my stance. You can also, if you're feeling like the club's still digging too much, move it a little bit more forward. It's all about trial and error. Position of golf ball that suits you. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the ball a little bit further forward. That looks a bit middle of the stance to me. I like to go a little bit further forward in the position of the golf ball if the ground's quite muddy, because that's going to help us use the bounce. The bounce is designed to allow the club to kind of glide off the ground. I have bounce on a wedges just to try and prevent the club digging. If you think, if I've got 10 degrees of bounce on this golf club, if I dig the leading edge into the ground, that 10 degrees of bounce is almost reduced into zero, and I'm going to struggle to get the club through the grass. So bounce in two ways. You can open up the club face to the right, or all you can do from there is instead of having the handle too far forward where we dig the leading edge into the ground, the more I move the handle back, that's pretty much straight up and down. If I go forward, we're going to dig the leading edge into the ground, so just try and feel like the opposite, where the club head is pretty much a little bit in front of the grip end, or the handle slightly further back. Design of the wedge, we've got the leading edge, which is the front of the golf club. We've got the trailing edge. Between the leading edge and the trailing edge is the bounce. We want to try and get the sole of the club, so the back end of the club, to hit the ground first. So to hit the ground maybe 1 or 2 inches before the golf ball, if you're somebody that creates a big divot in front of the golf ball. So just have the ball a little bit further forward. Weight obviously stays forward for this shot. But what we're going to do from there is we're just going to open the face to start off with. You can do that 2 ways. You can twist the face to the right, then you can lower your hands, or you can just push the handle back slightly so my lead wrist sits in a more kind of cupped position. So we've already got quite a lot of loft pointing up towards the sky. Just push the handle back slightly, don't push it ahead. So the only thought on the way through, I want you to visualise it's been raining, and you're just trying to feel like on the way through we're trying to get the right hand, so the right hand, to point up towards the sky. So it's almost like you're trying to catch raindrops. The moment we get that right palm pointing too much towards the ground like that, what's going to happen is we create a big angle in the right wrist, and then we kind of reduce bounce, and the ball's going to launch a little bit lower. So let's kind of keep that angle intact. Right palm to the sky, chest to the sky. Just the feeling on the way through, my body starts to create a little bit more height throughout the shot. To hit the ground maybe 1 or 2 inches before the golf ball. A simple drill you can use is just place the club head behind the golf ball where you want the club head to interact with the ground during the shot. A lot of golfers who struggle with pitching, they'll take too much of a divot in front of the golf ball. So we want to reduce the divot in front of the golf ball by trying to get the ball a little bit further forward. We're going to feel like our lower body aims a little bit more to the left. Open that club face through. All I want you to feel like is you're trying to get right palm to point towards the sky, and also my chest starts to extend through the shot. Feeling that you're trying to release your head through the shot. If I drag the handle forward, I'm going to dig the leading edge into the ground. So I'm trying to get the trail edge of the club to hit the ground first. Simple drill, just place the club head behind the golf ball where you want the club to hit the ground to the shot. So just try and feel like the club head hits the ground maybe 1 or 2 inches behind the golf ball. So place a leaf behind the golf ball. I'm going to try and get the club head to hit the leaf that's behind the golf ball on the way through if I struggle off soft ground. So just take the club back, trying to get the club head to hit where the leaf is positioned throughout the shot. And what you'll find from there is we're trying to utilise more of the bounce. From there, place the club head in between those 2 golf balls. If I go too steep, I'm going to hit the front golf ball. It's an analogy, we're trying to get the club head to hit the golf ball that's slightly more behind to the right. So we're trying to get club head to hit where the golf ball's positioned to the right. And that's going to give you a bit of feedback of using a little bit more of the bounce. If I drag the club forward and hit the golf ball on the left, I'm going to dig the leading edge into the ground. Just to simulate that, set up to the golf ball, ball a bit further forward, weight a little bit more ahead, palm to the sky, almost in that position. Visualising the grooves are pointing right back at you. If I close the face, then that's where we're going to dig the leading edge into the ground. Trying to feel it on the way through, the butt end of the club works a little bit more towards your left hip. Open that club face, right palm to the sky, club working around your left pocket, almost like this. Trailing edge hitting the ground, almost like that.